Hi guys, Dr. Rahul this side, and today we will discuss about an important topic: transplant rejection. Recently, we saw many questions being asked from this topic, so we will come back to the slide. But before that, let's discuss about transplant rejection. We will discuss about different types and their features, right? And few statements that are important, a few recent statements and few old statements that may come in your exam, and a few have already came, right? So it's an important topic, transplant rejection. Okay, so there are three types of graft rejection, right? By transplant, you know that this is a graft, we harvest the graft from either from our own body or from our relatives, or from any other species, right? Like you have heard allograft, autograft, xenograft, right? Let me clear this first. So graft mainly, if we talk about grafts, mainly from where we harvest the tissues, right? You say a tissue or an organ of our body is damaged or not working, and we have to harvest it from another source, and the source may be allograft, autograft, or xenograft, right? So autograft means self, means from my own body, right? Say for example, if I say for graft, see, this is also important example, like has been asked previously also. Lead is this is also known as widow artery, right? Left anterior descending artery. So in case we have to we need a harvesting tissue for this lead, we will take it as lima. Lima is internal mammary artery, right? So just remember lead lima, it's an important example. So in case we want to harvest anything, in place of lead, we will take it as lima, right? Means we are harvesting one organ from our own self, right? From our own body. So this is an example of autograft. Say the allograft means we are harvesting the organ or the tissue from our close ones, like sister, relatives, like that, right? Allograft. And xenograft means we are harvesting the organ from a different species. So of course here the rejection is maximum, right? Here the rejection is minimum, with autograft being the least. So now we can discuss about the rejection of the grafts, right? So let's discuss. So graft rejection. So see, graft rejection, usually graft rejection is of three types. Okay, one is acute, this is your hyperacute, and here I am writing the chronic rejection, right? So I will ask for proper attention here, because this is a slight difficult topic, but it's very important, has been asked, right, in many exams. So I am dividing the graft rejection in three types: hyperacute, acute, chronic, right? Now see, hyperacute is the immediate graft destruction, right? Immediate means in table itself, right? So first I am writing that it is an immediate rejection, right? And acute occurs usually first 6 months, right? I'm writing it first 6 months. And chronic is after 6 months of the graft, after 6 months of the graft being harvested, right? And among these, if you ask me which one is the most common, I will say most common is this one only, because nowadays, with the help of HLAs and HLA and ABO, everything, mainly HLA, we we identify before this one harvesting only that this graft is suitable or this graft is not suitable, and when the graft is more than 95%, this one when the graft has credibility of more than 95%, then only we harvest these organs or graft, right? So there's be less chance of rejection. If we feel that the graft will be rejected later, then why we will harvest it, right? So that's why in today's world, chronic one is most common, right? Because proper methods are taken beforehand only, before harvesting only. Anyway, so hyperacute, it is the immediate graft destruction due to ABO or preformed HLA antibodies. Please remember, ABO or preformed HLA antibodies are responsible for this type of graft rejection, and it is characterized by, once again let me, yes, and it is characterized by intravascular thrombosis or interstitial hemorrhage, right? So hyperacute graft rejection, it is the immediate type, immediate graft destruction. The antibodies responsible are ABO antibodies or preformed anti-HLA antibodies, right? Anti-HLA antibodies. And there may be thrombosis or interstitial hemorrhage, which is the cause of graft rejection, right? Then we are coming to acute graft rejection, which usually occurs during first 6 months. It is T cell dependent, right? T cell dependent, often may be cell mediated, antibody mediated, or both cell mediated and antibody mediated, right? So cell or antibody mediated, or maybe both, and it is reversible. So this is the plus point, it is reversible. Coming to the chronic one, it occurs after 6 months, as I told, most common cause of graft failure, and here the most important role is played by antibodies, and the non-immune factors cause the pathogenesis, right? Non-immune factors, and this is characterized by myointimal proliferation in graft arteries. I am writing it, myointimal proliferation means the tissue proliferates within itself, the intima of the tissues, intima of the arteries, and the muscle part, that the tissue itself is growing, right, from within. So the myointimal proliferation graft itself, right, mainly in the arteries, right? Arteries, the intima of the arteries that grow, that leads to ischemia and fibrosis and ultimately graft failure, right? So it is the most common type. So let us revise once. So hyperacute graft rejection is the immediate graft destruction due to ABO or preformed anti-HLA antibodies, right? This is characterized by intravascular thrombosis and interstitial hemorrhage. Talking about acute rejection, this occurs in the first 6 months, as I mentioned, T cell dependent, reversible condition, cell mediated, antibody mediated, or both. And chronic one, after 6 months, most common cause of graft failure, antibodies play the role, and there is myointimal proliferation linked to ischemia and fibrosis, right? Okay. Now one statement did came in your exam, that steroids, do steroids play a role in rejection and this one. So just remember, in recent years acute rejection has been significantly controlled by steroids, and chronic rejection has emerged as an important cause of graft failure. These two statements are very important and has been taken from Robbins, right? Chronic rejection is the most common cause of graft failure, and steroids do play a role, but remember, in acute rejection it has a significant role, right? Now we'll go back to the slide. yes. So see, first we will see the symptoms, sign symptoms, very important. This is a transplant rejection case. We have to first identify that there will be pain at the site of the transplant, ill feeling, flu-like symptoms, fever, weight change, swelling, and very important, decreased urine output, right? And the rejection types: hyperacute, occurs minutes to hours after transplantation, no treatment, organ must be removed then and there in the OT table itself, right? Acute occurs days, 1 week to month after transplantation. Actually, I told less than 6 months or within 6 months, right? So remember that. And T cytotoxic lymphocytes attack the transplanted organ. Actually, it is cell mediated or antibody mediated or both, right? And it is a reversible condition, right? Remember it. And chronic one lasts, it's actually after 6 months, most common cause of graft failure and most common in lung transplants, correct? And there is myointimal proliferation. Myointimal proliferation, there is the sole cause, major cause we can say, leading to ischemia and fibrosis. Okay, so we discussed today about the transplant rejection, right? Hope this video will be helpful to you. So I will yes, so we have discussed all salient points, and we will meet in next video, right? Okay.